Start. Dimmed.
Hello again, welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is BGFH and I'm back for another iOS accessibility video. We are wrapping up our built-in apps that I think I'd like to cover with VoiceOver, and then we'll get into more of the third-party apps and such. But last time we took a look at the calendar, and another thing that is really popular and really handy is to be able to take a quick note. And so what we're going to do is I will show you a couple of apps that are good for doing that. And again, these are built into every iOS device, iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch. And again, you will have to find out where these things are. They're probably going to be just right out on your home screen. Again, I've put most of my items into folders. But the item we're looking for is called
Utilities. Opened. Voice memos.
Voice memos.
Double tap to open.
I'm going to open that. Double tap to open.
Voice memos. VU meter. Image. Unmuted.
There we go. I actually had the sound muted. Now, this is just a really simple digital voice recorder. You're not going to be able to do like organizing your voice notes into various folders or anything like that, but you will be able to create your voice notes and play them back. So really simple interface. We've got a record button down in the lower left.
VU meter. Image.
A VU meter, which I don't even know if it really tells me much of anything. I haven't really played with it.
Show recordings. Button.
And show recordings. If I double tap on that, just what you think it would be. You would have a list of recordings that you have. You would have a list of recordings that you have created. So across the top,
select audio device. Button. Voice memos. Heading. Done button.
So there's my done button when I want to return to the actual voice memo part of the app and record something. Along the bottom,
share. Dim.
You have a share button. If I had something selected here, I could share it out. I believe I could share it to email, possibly Facebook and Twitter. I don't really remember because I haven't shared it or anything before. And then a delete button. And just above that,
memo playback position.
Memo playback position. So if you are recording something fairly long, you can find that control and then swipe up or down to adjust the value of that slider. So pretty simple, pretty intuitive. I don't know if my recording software,
button.
I don't know if it's going to allow me to record a memo, but you know what? What the heck? Let's try it.
Record. Button.
Another tip I would say is when you are recording, if you don't want VoiceOver to go through, you may want to use headphones just so that like you can hear VoiceOver, but your recording doesn't.
Record.
Well, let's try it. Hello, this is just a recording. I want to see if this works, and hopefully it does not crash my recording program.
Pause button.
So I have a pause button in the lower left, and my lower right button now
stop button.
Turns into a stop button.
Stop. Show recordings.
I double tapped that. So where the show recordings button was, the stop button was took its place. So in the lower left, you had your where the record button was, you had your stop button, or your pause button. I apologize. And then on the lower right, you had your
show recordings button.
There we go. So now,
select audio device button.
Hush.
Select a device for sound output. Pause button.
So I have a pause button in the lower left, and my lower right button now.
Stop button.
And there is my recording that I just created. So
delete.
I am going to delete that because
delete voice memo button. Delete
yes, I want to delete that. So voice memos. I know a lot of people, they'll carry around a digital recorder or something like that to take down somebody's phone number, email address, or just write a quick note. iOS has you covered. You've got a built-in app for doing some voice memos there. Now, if you want to write down some text notes, they also have you covered. I'm going to go to my second home screen here. And again, this will just be out on your home screen somewhere.
Notes.
I have it in my productivity folder. There's an app called
Notes.
Notes.
Double tap to open.
Double tap to open.
Notes.
And it looks just like a standard yellow yellow notepad, basically. So right now,
No notes.
no notes. I don't have anything saved here. I typically don't use this note app for taking notes. I do take notes with my iPhone a lot, actually, especially at work. Maybe at the end of this video, if we have time, I'll just pop into there to give you a glimpse. But the reason I don't use the built-in Notes app is because when I do take notes, I do take a lot of them, like, for different meetings, and, I like to keep things organized. So I'll keep my tech meeting notes in one folder, keep some personal stuff in another folder, other type of documents. I want to keep things organized. And unfortunately, with the Notes app, all you can really do is just have your list of notes. So,
Notes.
very simple app to use.
Add button.
I can add. There's an add button. I'll double tap that.
Note. Text field.
And it pops me into
Double tap
a
to edit.
brand new note with the virtual keyboard on the bottom, of course. And naturally, if I was going to be taking down something more than a quick email address or phone number, or more than a few words, I would definitely be bringing my Bluetooth keyboard or Bluetooth braille display with me, and I can type perfectly fast. I can type just as fast as I would on a regular keyboard or a regular computer. So, but I'll just say
Capital Y. Capital T. Cap J. H. O. I. D. S. Space. I. D. S. Space. A. Space. D. E. N. O.
all right. So
Return. New line.
then I'll so I just wrote, this is a demo, and it'll be there now. So if I look at the top now,
Notes. Back button.
I have notes. I can go back,
This is a demo. Heading. Done. Button.
and then I have a done button. So if I hit done, it'll take away the
Add
keyboard, but I can kind of look at it. So if I had a lot written here, I could look at this full screen without having that keyboard in the way from the lower third of my screen. So let's go back.
Notes. Back button. Notes.
And
One.
the
Heading.
first line of your note is what is, you can't really rename it, I don't think. It's just going to take the name of whatever the first line is in your note. So you probably want to just take that first line and call it something meaningful. So as you're browsing through your notes, as you add them, you know what's going on, and you can
This is a
find
demo.
what you want.
5:49 p.m. Button.
So there is the Notes app. Very simple, very straightforward to use, but built in, free, and so now you can take quick audio notes and text notes. Let me see how I'm doing for time,
Blindness vote.
and
X-ray.
let's see. Yeah, I got a little bit of time.
Ready.
I'm just going to pop in really
X-ray.
quick here. This is something
Double
that
tap
I
to open.
hopefully maybe will be able to cover in a future video when I start looking at other apps. But I do want to let you guys know
Productivity
that
folder.
if I go into my
Opening
productivity folder,
Productivity. Open. Pages.
Pages. Now this
Double
is a
tap to open.
third-party app, or this isn't actually. It's made by Apple, but it's not free. It's not built in. This is a $10 app you can get in the App Store, and Pages is Apple's equivalent of Microsoft Word. They have a whole iWorks suite, as they call it. So you have Pages, Numbers. I forget what the PowerPoint one is called. I don't really have it. The only one I really purchased so far is Pages.
Pages.
But I'll pop into that. And let me go back.
Documents. Button.
So that was a note that
Add document.
I took
Button.
I took some notes just yesterday, I believe. And so what we have here, it kind of looks like just another home screen actually, but it's within Pages. And I have my
Blank 2.
blank 2, that's
Double
just what
tap
they
to open
call it.
document.
I can double
tap
tap it to
enable other actions
open.
on item.
But here is where there's a couple reasons I like to use Pages. First, like you can tell here, I have a
Work stuff.
work stuff
Double tap to
folder,
open vendor training proposal.
vendor training.
Client notes. One-to-one tech meetings. MN medical.
So I've got a whole
Double
bunch of
vendor
stuff
training
in here.
proposal.
You know, I've got a whole bunch of
Double
different
tap to
folders
open
and stuff in
document.
here.
Double tap
I
and hold
like
to
it because
enable
I can
interactions on
organize it. And the other nice thing is that it does use iCloud, which is Apple's kind of cloud syncing. So what's really nice is I'm using my home iPhone right now, my personal iPhone. And if I write a document on here and I have it iCloud set up, when I'm done writing it, it'll save it. And then when I go open up pages on my work iPhone, or vice versa, when I go, it'll just look at my iCloud thing and say, oh, I see you have some new documents here. Let me just go ahead and grab them for you. So it's kind of Apple's equivalent to, like, you know, their own Dropbox. I don't use iCloud a whole lot, but I do use it for my contacts, and I do use it for pages. So I'm not going to get into detail with pages. I may cover that in another future video if I can more, but I do want to let you know that this does work very well with VoiceOver. I use it all the time. At work, when I go to meetings, I typically, you know, I used to bring a laptop and headphones and all this jazz, and now I pretty much, unless I have to really do some heavy document editing, which I really don't prefer to do on the phone, but if I'm just taking notes or reading through a document, you know, and not really having to edit it, I will just typically bring my iPhone, bring my wireless Bluetooth keyboard, and usually have on hand my little Airband headset that I reviewed on the channel a while back, and I'm good to go. I even took it down to the National NFB conference when work sent me down there last year. So, you know, rather than having to take a laptop, I find it's a nice space saver, a lot less to carry and worry about, so works really well. Oh, I didn't want to go to that. I wanted to go to XREC. There we go. So that'll give you guys a couple of ideas for some included note-taking apps. You've got your Notes app and you've got your Voice Memos app, so you can do text or audio notes. And just like I said, if you want to find more advanced ones with more features, there are a lot of great ones listed on the AppleVis website. Be sure to check that out. And we'll be covering more of those apps probably later. So until next time, I will talk to you guys soon.